Yeah,
Just
go.
text me.
Yeah, absolutely. Go for it.
You'll be fine.
Yeah. Hey, Takia, how are you? That's funny. Emma, you just popped up on my Facebook people I should know today.
Well, now you get to know me.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Out of Lynchburg?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not an agent. I'm the inside sales associate for the team.
Okay. Okay.
Not an agent yet.
That's all right. It'll get there.
Soon, hopefully.
Right. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. You can have a lot of fun for sure. All right. So we're going to play this, at any point in time that you have any questions or anything, feel free to ask. I'm not the best prepared for this right now. I had to deal with a listing today that took a lot of my time. So I guess it can be a little bit of an example of, showing that you got to kind of work your butt off and do some things out of the ordinary in order to try to get it. But I'll try to follow the power session as best that I can. And we'll go through, of course, the PowerPoint. Since I'm being recorded, I don't want to go too off track. So can you see it? Is it shared?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, when the seller, let's see what they got for you. Oh man, I didn't have any of that, but you should have this in your guide. Me personally, are you guys making any phone calls? Okay. Are you calling expireds, FSBOs, or is it just circle prospecting? Hey, Paul.
No FSBOs. I haven't done any FSBOs. I've been calling leads that come in, but we talked about calling FSBOs and other types of people last time.
Okay. All right. Maybe we can get into a little script and role play towards the end of this and see where everybody stands. So my particular expectations, actions revealed. Oh Lord, I got to try to follow this thing the best. Definitely practice scripts. I script some role play with myself all the time. Every time I get in the car, I'm talking to myself. I give myself a different objection every single time. Most of them are going to be angry if they're expired. They wanted their home sold the first time, so they already hate agents. So typically when I'm calling them and I'm getting a hold of them, we're worried about them. We don't care about talking about who we are, what we can do for them, things of that nature. That will come. We want to know what their pain is. Why are you selling? Where are you going? When you do sell, are you staying in the local area or are you moving out of state? Because regardless, you want to get that referral if it's out of the location. So my example was for today. It was an expired listing. I seen it. There was only 2 today. And I had to be different. A million agents were going to call this beautiful listing. So I drove to it. I put together a packet of who I am, what I can provide, a card, and a nice little presentation on their house, with photos that I got off of the MLS to put on paper. And went up there personally, knocked on the door. They looked at me crazy. I said, hey, I'm Jonathan Watson with Keller Williams. I apologize for coming up so unannounced. I said, but you're going to get a million phone calls today. I wanted to stand out. I came out here from Roanoke. I know it's about an hour away. I'm sorry to take you away from what you're doing. Here's some information. I'm just loving for an opportunity to interview because that's what we're doing is interviewing for the job. And initially, if they are not interested, they are leaving. I was able to have a conversation to care about what he needed. How do you feel that your home didn't sell? He didn't realize that his house had expired. So I apologized for that. Said, oh, I'm sorry, that I have to be the one to tell you your house expired. I mirrored his body language. I repeated things that and it turned into a 20-minute conversation on his front porch. And that wasn't initially what I wanted. I just wanted to set up another meeting so that I could come back and not be so casual in jeans and a shirt, because it was a pretty impressive house. And he thanked me multiple times for showing up, that he wasn't expecting something like that. That other things personally were happening to him within the house at that time, that he couldn't talk, and he was definitely going to give me a call back. So I will follow up, just like we all should follow up on any lead. If they're, A, B, or C buyer, you figure that out. And I will touch base with him again, probably not tomorrow. I'll probably give him a call on the weekend, just because normally people aren't working, they don't have anything to do, and I'll just give a quick call. So expireds, I would just say they're always upset. Practice your scripts. The more objections you can handle, the better, and the more witty you're going to be when they hit you with items. My wife gets wore out because I script and role play with her all the time. She tries to be impossible, but I love it. I want to be the best, and I have to continue practicing that. You want to make it your own. You can find multiple scripts anywhere, whether it's KW or, any other firm, Tom Ferry, all these other people. They have free things that are on YouTube you can watch. Just make it your own. You don't want to sound like everybody else. You need something that makes you stand apart. Because I don't know about Lynchburg, but in the Roanoke Valley, we have 1,700 agents. And if they're doing what they need to be doing, that's a lot of phone calls to the same people. And so you just want to kind of be different. So I keep hitting on the practicing the scripts because I think that it's big. And when you do reach out and touch base with them again, what I think works for me is to not necessarily talk about real estate. I'm going to ask this gentleman about his family, how they're doing, the things that we talked about on the porch that didn't have to do with real estate. That's my initial engagement with him when I do follow up, or when he does call me. It's not going to be, hey, all right, you ready to sell your house? I know I can sell it top dollar fast. It's going to be, hey, how's your wife doing? Oh, did you get to see those grandbabies? Things like that. Creating that rapport, because that's what people don't care necessarily what firm you're with. They list their home because they trust you. They like you. So I feel like that's very important. And the more you practice your scripts, the more you can be prepared for that. Let's see, does anybody have any questions or any situations that they've gone through just yet that they might have questions about? All right, cool. We'll go to the next slide. Oh, I will have to say that the daily lead generation from 9 to 11 every day, my wife knows not to call me unless it's an emergency, or if the daycare calls because of my daughter, it's the only way I will answer the phone or step away. I don't go to the bathroom. I don't bring something to drink in with me. You have a limited amount of time to catch people. Typically, if you're going after expireds in particular, I get up 7 o'clock, I run the expired list. I do my skip tracing with whatever platform you want to use, whether it's Land Voiced, White Pages, and figure out what their phone number is. Of course, we make sure that they are not on the do not call list to call them. I have to say that. And I prepare different scripts for different prices in different locations. And I spend the next hour after I run those expireds prepping for when I'm going to call at 9 o'clock. And I put the ones that I know I can sell the fastest as my first phone calls. We've had some issues in Roanoke where people have been called before 9 o'clock. They're extremely unhappy. They've called and told us at KW Roanoke that we should be calling that early. It's because I guess 4 of us agents hit them back to back to back to back because we just were out there hungry trying to get it. So that as far as lead generation, and you're looking for the listings, 9 to 11, or even pick another time, 12 to 2, 5 to 7. Typically 5 to 7 is not going to work because everybody's getting off of work. They do not want to talk. They want to eat, have a drink, whatever their pleasure is, and not deal with life anymore. So 9 to 11 and 12 to 2, I found to be very good times as far as listings. Now, as far as adding 10 new contacts to your database, everywhere I go, people know I'm a realtor, whether it's wearing a mask so that everybody can see that I need to work on making sure that I have this acronym down pat.
I like that one.
Because people will ask, and you know, they all know that I'm an agent. Whether it's, I don't boldly just, hey, Frank the Tank, how you doing? I don't boldly come out and just say, hey, I'm a real estate agent. You want to buy or sell a home with me? I do create a conversation with them generally, but if I meet them at the grocery store or at the gym, wherever you meet anybody, if I can strike up a conversation with you, you're probably going to get a card. I'm probably going to ask if I can still keep in contact with you some way. Everybody's got their own way of doing it. And then if I'm able to get a phone number and a name, put them in your command. That way you have them. I'm not an expert with command yet. I do get a lot of help with it, but even if you're not familiar and you need to do something until you get to that point, Excel spreadsheet, put it in your phone immediately. So it's the only way you can keep up. You will get so busy at some point that you are not able to keep a hold of these contacts. Notes, you know, it goes back to that conversation that you're having. Whatever conversation you're having, whether it's something with their grandkids, their family, an accomplishment they did at work, whatever, write that down. Next time you speak to them, bring that back up. Hey, I heard you got an award at Cox Cable for, you know, the best service last month. You know, how's that panned out for you? Did they give you a bonus or anything for that? Did they give you a free vacation because you're doing so well with Cox Cable? Not talking about real estate. I'm just creating that conversation. I'm working up a client or a possible lead and making them feel good about themselves. And then I will eventually work my way into, well, hey, have you even gone to see if you've been pre-approved for anything yet? Or, hey, have you done the painting out of your house so that we can get that thing sold? Because right now is a great time. There is nothing on the market. You know, you're going to get more money for it now than you will 6 months down the line. So, you know, the key is urgency. Preview 10 homes. Yeah, go to a for sale by owner. Those are the easiest ones to get in the door. Say that you work with people within that price range and you'd love to go view their home because there is no inventory on the market, but because you're so thorough at your job, you would love to come preview the inside of their home so that just in case you have a client that's coming by to purchase the house, you have an idea that you can send them that way. And when you get in the house, then you can speak about, are you willing to pay a buyer agent fee, things of that nature. Some agents may do it differently. I'm just confident in knowing that once I get in the house, I'm going to get you to pay me a buyer agent fee, if not list the house. So definitely preview 10 homes, gives you an idea of what the market is out there as well. Even if you're going to look at a listed home, go preview the home. So this has begin calls. Are we actually supposed to make calls on this? You got to forgive me because this is my first time doing this. Okay.
It's actually a good idea to do them. And I would say 10 minutes would probably be a good time frame. And then everybody can come back and tell about their successes. The
Okay,
best
so,
time to put y'all on the spot is right now.
okay, so is everybody gonna be on camera? Are we walking away? We doing, just saying, come back in 10 minutes? Because I'm down for either way.
Hey, would you do us a favor? Do you have anyone that you're going to call? Would you mind doing, I mean, are you comfortable doing someone or just calling to, I love the way you said that you don't call them up and you're like, hey, you ready to sell a house? You call to see how they are. And I
Right.
think sometimes people don't realize that that's all it takes because they know you're a realtor. So
Right.
of course, if there's something in their mind, it's going to come out. So I just think it would be nice to kind of get a feel or a little script of what you say. But if you're uncomfortable and you don't want to.
No, I just don't know if I have anything in mind of who I would call. I felt like I did all of that already today, just so I
Already
could be
do
here
your
for
2
this.
hours.
And
And
I
so
don't-
everyone's going to do it, but I want to ask you a question.
Okay.
Because I hear great things about you. Tina Farr, just has so much to say. So when you make your calls in the morning, how many do you think you make in a 2-hour period?
Oof, one, it depends if they're answering.
Mhm. Yeah.
I will go through as many as I possibly can if they're not answering. I tried to do the Bold 100 when Bold was around last year.
Mhm.
At that point in time, my wife wouldn't allow me that much time in the day. But
Yeah.
in the morning, I try to keep a phone call. If it is a home that I know I can sell and I absolutely love it, I try to keep it at 30 minutes. And even then, that's too much for me to get an appointment. But if I feel like I'm creating a great rapport and they love me, I have them laughing and, we can set up an appointment, then I'll cut it shorter than 30. But if I'm working them, sometimes I'll stay on there as long as I have to just to get the appointment because I know once I get there, I'm going to be fine. So in 2 hours, I could call anywhere from 5 to 25.
Depending on who's answering the phone.
Correct.
And how many average per week will you actually get someone that's willing to talk to you?
Here this year, this year, not so much. We had 258 expire last year on the 1st of January. This year it was 58.
Oh my gracious.
Yeah. So I got 2 listings. The very first, January 1st, the very first 2 that I called. And then everybody I called after that was not happy. I mean, I was getting cussed. I was told that I was the 15th agent that's called them that day. So the very first day, I really was only able to talk to 2 people personally. That was good. I would say 20 of them were angry and upset, didn't want to talk. I mean, didn't want to give me a shot at all.
But
So,
out of 20, you got 2 listings.
right.
And I think that's the point I was trying to get across is that we just
Okay.
can't take it personally when they've had a bad
No,
day.
right.
We can't take it personally. And we do. I mean, we're human nature. I mean, after a while, you're probably like, geez, I need to go and go relax for a second after that.
Right.
But I just want people to know that you didn't do it in vain. And that's kind of, I think my point is it doesn't matter how many you get. It's the fact that you got one.
Right. I mean, it was a no before you called. You might as well call them.
Exactly.
So it's a no if you don't call. We absolutely have to be familiar with getting rejection. It's going to happen. Some of them see us as used car salesmen. You have to find that one thing that sets you apart. And I feel like it's just the relationship you can create with the information you're able to pull from them, their pain, their purpose for selling, and, mirroring the body language and the tonality to, I'm lost for words right now, just to mirror everything, have empathy for whatever they're going through, oh, I'm sorry you didn't know your home expired off the market. I'm sorry to be the first one to tell you that. Is one of the big things.
Just out of curiosity, how many times do you run into that
them not knowing it expired.
I'm sorry, I didn't know my camera wasn't on.
Oh, no, it's fine. A lot. And sometimes it's not very beneficial because they're defensive at this point. So that's why I use the empathy for that. I apologize. I really don't want to take up too much of your time. I just have a few questions to ask you. My very first one is, I have my reasoning, but if you don't mind, could you tell me why you think your home didn't sell? A lot of times I get the response of, I don't know, you're the agent, you tell me. Oh, and that's, well, there's 3 reasons why a home will sit or sell. It's price, marketing, and location. Your price looks okay and your location is great. You just possibly didn't have the right amount of exposure. I think that's what sets us apart as agents. We all put a sign in the yard. We all put you on the MLS and we all pray that somebody comes by to buy it. But my efforts are different than this agent. And I'm sure that they did a great job and exhausted all of their efforts. My efforts are just different. And I'd love to take an opportunity to sit down with you. I'm old school. I like to shake your hand, meet you in person, and tell you what I can possibly do for you. Because at the end of the day, it's not about my credentials. It's about where we need to get you and sell your home for as much money as possible, as fast as possible. That's the end game. And I want to do it and you not have to worry or stress about anything. So, and the other questions are, where are you going? What are you doing if your home does sell? If I sell this home for you tomorrow, what are your plans? Oh, well, I'm going to go to North Carolina to be closer to my grandchildren. Oh, okay, great. I use that, write it down as notes, and I bring it back up later at the end of my presentation. The pain of, other than why they're selling, it could be to be closer to my grandkids, but it's most likely going to be, well, we're downsizing because we need to go, we can't handle this anymore and we want to be closer to our children. So I get a pain, I get a where they're going afterwards and why they think their home didn't sell. And I will bring that back up. Sometimes it's just timing, Mr. John Doe, because your price looks great. I think that sometimes it's just the wrong time and it's unfortunate. But I will say that I do have different marketing exposures. We don't care if somebody from Russia or Japan buys your house. They all have to pay the same money. My exposure is going to get you seen all over this planet. And that's the name of the game. Somebody will buy it. Those are the things that I like to use for the expires. The for sale by owners, I write out a little financial formula for them in person when I go preview the home. So I will show them statistics from the NAR that you can go look up. They're offered 15 to 20% lower as a for sale by owner than when they have an agent. If they have an agent, typically, if it's been on market a while, you'll be offered 5 to 9% lower than your listing price. If you're for sale by owner, it's 15 to 20. So I break down the numbers to where, okay, let's say it's worst case scenario that you have an agent and say they come in at 9. And then I'll do one more and say, we're going to give you, and say they came in 10% under while you use an agent. And then we're going to say this percentage as a for sale by owner. And I put all those numbers on there, the offer, 1,000 in repairs, all your inspection prices, company, all of that, and list it all down and show them that you still will make more money with me as your agent than as a for sale by owner, all while being protected and making sure that you get where you need to be faster and done professionally in the right way. And that's a lot of times when I'm able to get them. Unfortunately, I haven't done too many here lately. I need to get on that.
So what do you guys think that we'll go out for the next, let's say 10 minutes, everybody can have a bathroom break and make your calls. Let's use this thought pattern that's shared with us, because your name's not showing up on here. I'm sorry. It says user 47.
Oh, I know. Me and Cassandra tried to fix that. It's Jonathan.
Hi, Jonathan. Let's go and see if we can, use some of these tips that we've gotten from Jonathan. I just think it's exciting. I'm going to do it. So
Okay.
let me think about who I'm going to call.
Yeah, I wish I had somebody right now. I normally do it for agents in the office who want to come sit beside me. I let them watch while I make phone calls, but I just don't have anything else today.
All
And
right.
Tracy, you also popped up on me for somebody that I need to know on Facebook as well. So I'm going to click that here in a little bit.
I wasn't sure who was doing the class today. When I saw you, I was like, oh my gosh, we just became friends.
I fixed your name, Jonathan.
Good to see you,
Oh,
Jonathan.
Oh, now he has a name. Okay.
Sweet.
All right, you guys. All right, and I'm gonna let Jonathan take over. Sorry, I interrupted.
Oh, no, it's fine. Are we going to do the break now or?
Yep, y'all ready? Nobody's answering. Is everybody ready?
No.
All right.
Yes, I'm ready. I'm gonna call my old lady.
All right, good idea.
I was born ready.
What in the world? Oh, sorry. Hey, Krista, how you doing? Long time no see. Glad you're on here.
Good to talk to you, Jonathan. I like seeing your face.
Absolutely. I miss talking to you.
Me too.
Just so I'm clear, we were taking 20 minutes to call, right?
I believe so, 10 or 20. I can't remember what Teresa had said.
Okay. Well, I was listening to everything and then my screen just froze. So I had to close everything out and come back. So I missed what was said right before
We
everyone left.
said 10, but if you've got some good ones, keep going.
Well, I actually need advice because I called someone. I figured that's what we were doing, and he was not really open to paying an agent. That's his biggest issue. And I talked to him a little bit to just get me to get in front of him. So that was successful. I think it's a successful call. But now I don't know what to do. What do I say when I go to this appointment for someone who doesn't want to pay an agent?
You give me your email address. I will give you at least the financial and mathematical formula that you can write out in front of him. Of course, you're going to want to write it out yourself before you go there.
Okay.
So that it looks like you know this by heart and you're doing it. So that way, when you show up, you can show him, other than just the protection and the exposure and things of that nature that he's going to get with an agent, how he's also going to make money with you instead of doing it on his own. Plus, he's going to have to do all the showings. He's going to have to answer all the phone calls. That's something that we also take away from him, that he doesn't have to worry about it. We handle everything. So if you want to, or you can just send it to
I'm
me.
writing here in the chat, my email address.
Okay. If I can figure that out. Okay, cool. When is your appointment set for?
5 o'clock.
Today?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Of
I
course,
just told him, I said, I won't talk numbers to you over the phone because it's hard for me to do that. If I can just come out and only see the house, that's what I'm here to do. And then we could, discuss things forward after that. And he was open to that.
Okay, good.
I wasn't pushy, so I think that helped.
I do. I agree with that. I think that being able to create the rapport first is most important. Most of for sale by owners' main thing is financial. So that's why I always have this formula because I can write it down in front of them and show them, look, you have nothing to lose, you have nothing but to gain, you know, not just financially, but your time, you know, days on market, things like that, that you can piggyback off of the financial with. But, you know, go get those reasons. Why are you selling other than making all the money? There has to be another reason other than making money, or he'd be a flipper or an investor that's doing that. And even then, there's a different way to handle that as well. But I will.
Sorry, I'm just writing these things down so that
No,
they're
you're
in my
fine.
mind when I go.
You're fine. I try to get on a roll and I don't know to take my time because I feel like I'm doing the transaction right then and there. So-
I've never listed anything, obviously. I've only been to one appointment since I just started back in November. So all this is really new for me. So yeah.
But that's
need all the
okay.
advice.
You can use other things to your advantage, even if they ask, you know, how long you've been an agent or how much you've done. Use the people that you are surrounded with and their years of experience. You know, technically, you're not just getting me, you're getting this whole office worth of people over 38 years experience that are going to help me through this process as well. So you're really getting 38 years of experience and all of these other agents and broker for the price of one, which really makes things sound great. One of the items that I had an issue with, there's an agent up here in Roanoke who is my nemesis, and she has gotten probably 4 listings over me just because I've only been in the business for 3 years this August, and she's been in it for 3 decades. So, and every client told me, we love you. You sound like you're a master of your craft, but she's been doing this for 30 years. So we decided to go with her. I didn't have a way to argue that until I came up with, okay, I can appreciate your question, that you want to know how long I've been in it. If you would do me a favor, let's play a game. I will continue to build value and how I can get you the most money for your house and sell it as fast as possible. If you can guess how long I've been in real estate when I'm finished, I will pay for a 1-year home warranty for the buyer of your house out of my commission.
That's
And
great. I like that.
A lot of people are just sitting there like, oh, okay, yeah, let's do it. All right. And because I just worked so hard in trying to prepare for those meetings and do my scripts and role plays, I mean, religiously every day in the shower, I do it with my daughter, my wife, in the car by myself to handle those things. And I've gotten responses 12 years, 15 years. And I'll laugh and I'll say, well, I've only been in it for 2 years. Sounds like I bring a lot of value, doesn't it? You know, and normally they can't believe it. And then I ask the final question of, is there any reason why you wouldn't want to list with me today? And a lot of times they're like, well, no, I really don't have anything else. If they do, then I just go back into it and say, okay, well, let me start over. My name's Jonathan Watts. I'm from Keller Williams. I have a beautiful 5-year-old daughter and a wife that makes me work so hard for you. They are the reason that I will get your home sold. I want to be the best and I will be the best. And you are going to be one of those stepping stones. Michael Jordan got cut from the basketball team his sophomore year in high school. And now he is the greatest ball player ever. That is my pathway that I want to take. Do you want to be a part of that with me? You will be if I'm able to sell your home and you give me that privilege. And a lot of times it works out. But I base a lot of it on their pain. I always touch back on their pain. Look, do you really want to wait a couple more months to try to sell it on your own when, let's say I get it under contract this week in this market, and then 30 days from now, you know, you'll be where you want to be. No more mortgage payments. You'll be closer to your grandchildren. You know, you'll be on a single level living instead of, you know, in this huge 3-story house. Always touch back on that. I repeat a lot of things that they say if they have questions, just because it lets them know that I'm listening, that I can repeat it back to them. So I find the home warranty thing really works for them. And at the end of the day, even if you sell $100,000 house, you get $3,000, you pay your KW split, you might be at 21 or 22. $500 at the end of the day, you're still making a pretty good amount of money for the amount of time you put into it, even if you have to pay that. You got the listing, you know?
Yeah.
So to me, it's worth it, and I haven't had to do it yet. Nobody's guessed it. So I've gotten out of it. They've been impressed. I got the listing. We've moved forward.
Okay.
So I will, when we're done, 5 o'clock is going to be kind of cutting it close.
I know.
if
I
we
just went with whatever time worked for him, honestly.
Right.
So,
And I feel like that's what you should have done. And this could just be a soft visit, a soft preview. You know, you always can ask, you know, if you don't mind, would you mind if I keep in touch with you? You know, just to see how you're doing. Is there a time that you feel like you might want to list with an agent, you know, that you have in mind? You know, is it 2-3 months down the line? At that point, I'll also ask, is there an agent that you think you would work with? And if they say, yeah, I ask them who it is. And if they can't tell me who it is, they don't. They just don't want to entertain that conversation yet. So that's when I jump in and say, well, if you don't mind, I'd love to keep in contact with you. I'm not going to blow up your email. I'm not going to blow up your phone, but just want to call and see if you can sell this beautiful house. I'm sure you can. But I just wanted to do it because I know I can do it for you in a timely fashion and get you the most money that you can make off of this house. So, and get you with your grandkids, or, you know, help you with your bad knees in this 2-story house, things like that. And if it's an investor, they'll be a little bit more tough because they already know everything. You know, you can't talk to somebody like that. It's a touchy, but it never hurts. You never know. Just be confident. If you go in there and you're smiling and you're happy, it's hard to see any negative in a first impression. And I mean, it's just like looking at a home. If it has great curb appeal, even if you go inside and somebody's punched a hole in the wall, it's still going to be hard for that hole in the wall to take away from that great curb appeal that they saw walking up to the house in the location. So it's the same thing with you as an agent. Just go in there. You know what you're doing. You're the best at this. There's nobody better than you. It doesn't matter if you haven't done any transactions. They don't know that. You're the best at this. And you don't have to disclose that until they ask you something. And then that's when you handle it with the objections. Your scripts and role plays.
Anything that you don't know, there's always somebody there to help you at our company, like always.
Right. That's why you use people's experiences. You know, my market center has done this, and we all work together as a team, you know, and everybody works together to get this done. But I assure you, you're only going to pay this one commission. But you will have all these people looking after you to make sure that we get the job done. I used that a lot when I was new. And people just want to be safe, and people want to know that they can make money at the end of the day. You'll be fine. I know you will. You just got to go in there and be confident. You got it.
okay. I'm not nervous to go. He told me a lot over the phone without saying much. He did say that he's like, I respect agents, I do, but agents are working for the buyer. And I kind of like flipped it around on him. I said, well, do you have anyone that's working for you? And he said, no, I don't want to pay. And he spoke with an agent who's willing to knock it down to 2% or some crazy negotiation that they did, but he hasn't gotten back with him. And he says that whoever he works with is going to help him with his next house, because once he sells, he's going to need somewhere else to go.
Okay.
So
that agent kind of knew what they were doing. Me personally, sometimes it really depends on the price of the house. And if they're tough, I could offer 2 if they're going to buy with me. You typically don't want to do it. And how I combat the less commission is, you know, as your listing agent, you want me to pay a premium to get your home sold as fast as possible. I'm going to do professional photography. I'm going to make sure that your home is seen all over the world. And I'm going to pay for the marketing to get this done the right way. Anybody who's saying that they'll do it for 2%, they have to pay 1% to their broker no matter what. No matter what. And then 1%, if they do it right, should go to the marketing of your house to get it sold. So then that just leaves me 1% to take and put in my pocket that I pay taxes on. So let me break it down for you, Mr. Fispo. If that person wants to do it for you for 2%, they're not going to give away their 1% that they put in their pocket, and they have to pay their broker. Where do you think they're cutting that 1%? In your marketing to get your home sold. So do you really want to go to a discount agent for that? And a lot of times, when you're breaking it down for them like that, it makes sense. And they can say, oh, well, he's going to make it back on the buy-in. Yeah, well, how long is he going to drive you around? That costs money too. Time away from family, things like that. So, there's items that you can bring up to handle those objections to where.
Yep, you've got to know your worth. You're worth that.
Yep. And I'm not going to say that I'm not one of those agents that did do it for two before. That's just because I knew that their purchase was an upgrade and I was really going to do a lot better. So at that time it was worth it for me. But now that I'm a lot more confident, I know what's going on, I don't have to do that. I just tell them the facts of where everybody's money goes. I said, no matter what agent, they pay their firm. It's going to happen. And if they do it right, 1% should go to marketing, is what I tell them, even though it could be a little less than 1%. It's just when you're presenting it to them, that's what sounds great. So you just got to let them know that when they're discounting, they're taking it away from you, not the agent. The agent's not giving you a good deal. You're kind of hurting yourself by allowing them to take away the expenses that go to marketing your home.
Okay. He has it listed at 179,000. So. I don't
Okay.
know.
Have you run comps on it?
No, this all just happened.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
right. I'm sorry. That would be something that you want to do. Don't take him. Well, this is just me. I don't take any paperwork. You're not going to read it. You're going to throw it away. You're not going to look. And if you're looking at it while I'm talking to you, you're not listening to me. I'm the one that needs to get you to sign this, not that piece of paper. The paper and stuff like that, that's good to hang on a doorknob if they're not home. That's it. Yeah, I just run comps to get an idea of the homes in the area, square footage, beds, baths, and location. Let him know, ask him how he came up with his price. How did you get that? Was it the other agent? Did you do it yourself? Because this is what the market says. The honesty is going to go a little bit further than somebody trying to sell him a dream. And he gets put on the market at a dream price. And now he's going to hate every agent because one agent sold him a dream and didn't do it correctly. So there are agents who will accept it just to put it on the market. The only way I handle that is, okay, well, I'll list it for 179, even though it comps for 155. If in the first week we don't have you an offer in this market, you agree to drop the price X amount. And if by the second week you don't have another offer because you can clearly see what I'm doing for marketing, then we need to drop it X amount again and get to the price that I presented to you. And then when it does sell at that price, then they're going to know that you were doing your job. Home's only worth what a buyer's willing to pay. But I will send you a quick email before you go to travel to that house. Let's say around 4 o'clock or so, I'll send it to you in an email. That way you can have it. Most of the numbers are the same. It's just that first number as far as the offer. Without an agent, he's going to get an offer 15-20% lower than his listing price. With an agent, it's going to be 5 to 9% lower. So those are the only two different numbers. The rest are depending on your association. In the RVAR in Roanoke, $1,000 is built into the contract for repairs unless you negotiate otherwise. So I always put that in there. Well, septic, termite, home inspection, or well, septic, termite is on the sell side. Since the new septic law came out, I put that at about $1,200. And then you want to put closing costs, just to say, and you want to assure them like, we're going to negotiate the closing costs. We're going to have them come up on price so you don't have to pay closing costs. That's why I'm here, so that you don't have to worry about paying that. But you add those in there as well. When you put all those numbers in there, it's going to show you, even at 6% paying an agent and him not using one, you're going to come out with an agent. It should be around $3,000 to $4,000 to $5,000 better than him doing it by himself at his discounted do-it-myself rate. And he's getting the protection. He's getting it properly marketed. He's getting everything that he would want to have that he can't do himself. He's not going to answer the phone. You're going to show his house. You're going to follow his rules. He gets not worry about a thing. So those numbers I'll send to you in the email. It really helps. It's almost a slam dunk for sale by owners from my experience.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. And I'll probably leave here a little early, just so I can run the numbers.
Hey, look, my hand's up for anybody who wants to not stay till 5. So my whole thing for this today was to just help everybody with problems. I didn't really prepare that well for the whole Ignite session. I just wanted to help people because of what I do. I worked with Krista a lot during Bold, and we had a lot of fun doing scripts and role plays back and forth. I think even at one point in time, I had Krista believing that
I
she
need
was
to be doing more of that again.
So it's, she even hung up on me in our scripts and role play. It was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. So, that makes me feel good. And that's the things that I like to do with people.
We had fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And she helped me a lot with buyers, because I can't get my buyers to buy anything. I feel like I take them around everywhere to look at everything and they never pull the trigger. But she was able to help me.
Yeah, I think this is really helpful, Jonathan, because the listing side is such a different animal, and you're really good at the listing side. So I think we balanced each other really well.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, I couldn't agree more with balancing for sure. Is everybody back from making the phone calls or anything? Does anybody have any other questions?
I was speaking to my lady for a long time.
Was it good news?
Well, yeah, she owns a few rental properties, and she's looking to buy in Smith Mountain Lake. She's an older lady just trying to downsize, and she's got problems with people paying rent because of COVID.
Right.
And so she was talking to me about
Right.
getting her rent money and getting
Okay,
this and this.
sounds
And
good.
she's like, I'm so glad you called me.
Everything
Yesterday
else is done
was a
and
month
good?
since
All
my
right.
last brother died.
They were in here today.
So
Oh.
just
She
so,
was-
just
she
so
started
you
to
know,
tear up a little
Jonathan, so just so you know, Emma is my ISA. So she's working on getting her license. So there's only so much I
Teresa.
can say.
Teresa,
Yeah,
mute.
I was talking. Can you hear me?
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah.
So Emma transferred her, right? So I was like, well, let me call the lady to see who I can transfer to my team. Well, the lady won't talk to me. She only wants to talk to Emma. So that's the funny thing is, so one of you guys might get the lady, but she doesn't want to talk to anyone but Emma. So
I told her, I was like, yeah, I'm working on getting licensed, and she's been going through some rough things the past few weeks, and she just started tearing up. She's like, I thank you so much for calling me. It's like you're my friend. And I'm like, you know what? I am your friend.
Mhm.
And from now on, I'm going to give her weekly calls. And I told her, I
Right.
said, listen, it's not just about business. She told
Right.
me about a realtor she used that was absolute crap in her words. And
Right.
I apologized, and I said, I'm so sorry that this happened to you. I want you to know that even if nothing business related comes out of this, I'm here for you, and I want to talk to you.
Beautiful.
And it's
Beautiful.
really heartwarming. It's really emotional, you know?
Absolutely. We're here to help people. I mean, we want to get paid, but at the end of the day, she's going to tell everybody in her family, all of her friends, church members, people at work, or whoever she works with, that you're awesome. And that's what we do it for, because that extends our career. I feel like that's the only reason that I'm so successful. My title agency, my title and settlement company told me that I was absolutely too nice. But I've only been doing this for 3 years in August, and I'm already getting referrals. So, I mean, something that I can't even keep up with. And it's only because I do the little things. I know I'm going to make money. So it's the little things that people care about. I got 3 transactions off of one lady and 3 off of
Wow.
another lady, just because the final walkthrough the buyers did, and all of her stuff was still in the house. And it's like, I went and bought a U-Haul and went over there by myself and moved out sleep sofas, beds, dressers, everything by myself. Put it in the U-Haul. But she will never, ever, ever use anybody else ever again. And she has given me 2 houses since then. She is a member at Hunting Hills Country Club here in Roanoke, which is big wigs. I get invited to 6-course dinners and stuff to get to, shake hands and hang out with everybody, all because I did that. And I paid for the U-Haul. It did cost me a little bit of money, but she's a multimillionaire and she appreciated it. And she just loves me to death because of those little things. So I think that's good that what you did, because you never know if she's got a big portfolio and she decides she just wants to retire and stop doing stuff. Now you got all those to put on the market and sell.
Yeah, I'm very thankful. I mean, it's just, I think what sets apart agents, there are many, many things, but showing that you actually care about someone and you're not just there to get money. Because, I mean, you want to get paid, like you said, obviously we all want to get paid, but, I'm sure they're getting calls from agents just trying to sell their house or help them buy, and no one is caring as much as they should.
Right. Absolutely. It sets us apart, that rapport, that relationship. It's all about relationships. So, and you do that by not talking real estate all the time.
Exactly. I was talking to her about her rental properties and her taxes and her health, and it was a very great conversation.
As long as you wrote it down for notes so that you can revisit it, then you're doing great. How did everybody else's phone calls go? Bueller? All right, well, we can move on to the next one unless somebody else has questions. Did everybody take notes from their phone calls? Okay.
Hey, Jonathan, I got a question for you.
Shoot,
I want you to share your sheet with me. We had a little fire to put out over the calling session, so I'm back now. But if you get a chance, I want to see the sheet, the notes that you've got for working with these people cold.
The for sale by owners.
Yeah, for sale by owner, and how you quantify your services.
Oh, okay. Well, typically, I have a financial formula that, of course, I can send to you. I have your email address, obviously, so I could send that to you. And that's kind of like my closing deal is that financial formula. Initially, it's just the building the rapport, finding out how they got their price, why they're selling, their pain, where they're going afterwards, finding out if there's anything other than financial, because there typically is. They just want to get that money.
Yep.
And then at the end, it's like, okay, I respect your for sale by owner. I appreciate it, but can I show you one more thing if you amuse me for a second? And then I'll say, all right, you have it listed for $179. And these are not my statistics. These are the National Association of Realtor statistics. And I mentioned all of that. And I said, you can go on their website. You might take you a while to hunt it down, but you can find it. Every FSBO, 76% that go under contract go to litigation. And it's because of timelines with inspections and things of that nature. But you're going to be offered 15-20% less on your listing price as a for sale by owner than if you're using an agent. If you're using an agent, it'll be 5 to 9%. And I will use the worst case scenario for using an agent. I'll even go over the 9% and do 10%. And I'll say, okay, well, let's take best case scenario in your for sale by owner. Let's do 13% and not 15. And I break down the numbers for closing costs, inspections, repairs, all of that, put it all the way down, 6% commission, everything, and make sure that those numbers end up with them making $3,000 or $4,000 more using an agent than going by themselves. Sometimes it can be ridiculous and be like 14,000 they can make. I don't make it that outrageous. I put it to where it's only a few thousand, but I'll say, well, will $5,000 extra do for you? You know, that would be great. You know, even if we can't find you a place to go immediately, at least you have that in your pocket to be able to find an apartment in this horrible inventory. You know,
You
where
don't pay the difference on that house that you're buying that didn't appraise for contract price.
Hey, very true. God, I ran into that yesterday. So yeah, that's typically, that's my closer, is breaking it down in front of them. I write the numbers down before I go. That way, when I get there, I'm not sitting there using a calculator in front of them. I tell them that they can pull their calculator out so that they can do it physically, and it ingrains in their mind a little bit more, and say, hey, what's this for me? If you don't mind, it's been a very long day. I got a 5-year-old daughter. You'd think I'd be good at this already, but the numbers are driving me crazy. I only know how to count 1 to 30 right now. So it'll make them laugh. And then when they go through it, I'm like, okay, so it's 1,000 in repairs. Okay, so this is the offer. Okay, all right. Does that number look good to you? And I'll turn it to them. And they're like, huh, you definitely give me something to think about. Okay, well, good. Is there any reason why you wouldn't list with me? If you decide you didn't want to list today and you wanted to give yourself a shot for the next 2 weeks or so, is there anybody else that you think you would use? No, I mean, you sound pretty knowledgeable. Okay, great. What would stop you from listing with me today? Why wait 2 more weeks while your house is on the market even longer? Let me get it signed today. Let me get the photographer out here in a couple of days. Let's get this going so I can get you where you need to be, or we can start hunting for a new house for you. Matter of fact, what's your email address? I'll send you a drip tonight with the criteria that you want. So that's normally my spiel.
Solid, man. And that follow-up, stay in touch.
I normally don't like to leave without it.
Right
So,
on.
but yeah, the follow-up, I'll probably call them the next day. Did you have a chance to look over that before you went to bed? Did you speak to your wife about it when you met with her? You know, things like that. And I got great socks. So, I mean, that's normally when I hit them with something funny, like, I got great socks. Who else has chicken and waffles on their socks? So, trying to stand apart.
Do you use the same script for sale by owner that has sold previously by themselves and had success with that?
I would.
Okay.
That's just me personally. I congratulate them. I tell them they did a great job. But it also depends on where that house is located, what the price was of that house, what year it was when they sold it. All of that comes into account when I'm sitting there saying, oh, well, yeah, you did sell that house then. You know, that's a phenomenal neighborhood. You know, this one could be a little tricky from what the comps that I see at the price that you have it right now. You know, and you've been on market for X amount of days already. So you said you sold this one in this amount of time. Well, in so many words, I'm going to say, why hasn't that happened with this one?
Right. Okay, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Should we move forward on this in a slideshow, or does anybody have any other questions? Okay.
Slideshow.
Okay. Watch video, develop your listing. I don't know where those videos are. Cassandra tried to help me. But yes, I mean, any and everything that you can either read or watch, everything can help you. Everybody's different. Everybody has a different way to do it. Some listing presentations I've seen have been 27 pages long. Nobody's going to read 27 pages of your listing presentation. That's just my opinion. You know, and if you really want to look at that while I'm there, then you're really not motivated So I feel like if you're listening to me, then I'm doing a good job, and you're listening to what I have to say, and you're pretty motivated to get it sold from what I'm saying. And that's why they say pre-qualifying the seller, finding out their motivation. How fast do you need to move? It's a good way to figure it out. I have 2 listings right now that I got in January. One of them was actually a former agent, but she says, nope, I gotta wait for it to be green. I want to put, $10,000 in landscaping on my house. And I worked the whole thing. I was like, well, look, I could save you the $10,000. We can list it right now in this inventory. I said, I have a great photographer. He'll make things look green. Let's just go ahead and get it listed and sold. And she's old school realtor. And she says, no, I need to have the curb appeal. So March is as early as I'm going to get it, but that's what pre-qualifying, I guess, the seller is to figure out. And I still need to make sure to keep in touch with them. I actually have a overnight package I'm sending to her and her son today, so that, I can still stay in her good graces, because it's another month before I can list that house. But motivation to me is huge. You don't want to put a lot of time and effort in somebody who's going to want to wait. You just want to do your follow-up. And I like to send, even Mac Westland does this as well, who is also in our office. After we actually speak with somebody, whether it's for sale by owner or an expired listing, we will send them a little tiny note card in a package saying, thank you for your time. I really appreciate you taking the time to speak with me on the phone. Really hope that we can set up an appointment, in the very near future. Just as a little nice touch, handwritten note and a little card just to send to them. And that seems to work pretty well, because nobody else is going to do it.
Are you talking about, Jonathan, just a note card that you're writing, or are you talking about a gift of some sort?
I won't go as far as a gift, because I'm not going to feel that good about it at that point. But yes, a handwritten note card in an envelope is what I do. Like the little Keller Williams black cards that we have and we can buy. I'll just open it up and write a little note in there with my business card, and we'll put that and drop it off at the mailbox or send it in the mail. I got a listing because she didn't want to talk. This one lady didn't want to talk to anybody. And she says, just leave your business card in the mailbox and I'll figure out who I'm going to call. Well, I'm the only out of the 11 business cards that were there when I got there to the mailbox. I wrote a handwritten note saying, thank you for your time. I really hope that I have the opportunity to interview for this position, because I know I can sell your home fast. I'm the only one she called back. So little things like that for me is just a touch. And she says, I appreciate that it was handwritten. I appreciate that you didn't type it up, print it out and put it in an envelope. I like that you wrote it personally. So for me, it's just what's worked. Yeah, definitely agreed. Definitely walk through the home. I'm oohing and ahhing the whole time I'm going through the home. Oh, this is magnificent, but I am also asking questions. If anything is custom, if I feel like something is special is within that house, I need to ask, or with the property, because you're going to need to know for the listing anyway. So those are things that it gives you an opportunity to interact with them, as well as figure out who they are personally when you're walking through their home. Somebody could have wooden elephants up on a mantle somewhere. Well, I'm going to ask you where you got them from, whether you went to, Asia somewhere, or if you went to Africa and you got these from an area when you went on a trip or something like that. That way that I can put something in my notes or in the back of my brain to know that I can bring up next time. Hey, you guys take any more trips to Asia or Africa or anything like that? Gosh, I really wish I could go out there. I heard the alligators and spiders are enormous. Anything to make somebody laugh or let them talk about themselves as well. And of course, the listing presentation is, people do things differently. We have great listing presentations on our command, and, you know, make them your own. I have a transaction coordinator. I just give her the address and say, please make me a listing presentation for this. I don't want it any longer than 6 to 8 pages with all the pertinent information that I need about myself, and a little bit to spruce up their home and make them think that their home, I love their home and it's really beautiful. And then my accomplishments and things like that. And that's just for me to leave with them after I'm done actually speaking to them. I never pull it out personally in front of them and go over it and flip pages. You're here to meet me. You're here to talk to me. That's how we're going to get this done. You love me. You're going to list with me because you love me. And I care about what you're saying. Here's some papers afterwards when I leave. Yeah, in the listing presentation, the guide to selling your home. I normally do that while I'm talking. I do put in things in my listing presentation that they can follow back on. Oh yeah, I remember he said that. Oh, he's a part of 187 real estate platforms on the internet. Oh yeah, he did say that. That's crazy. Now I see it in writing. So, you know, the ways that I'm going to sell their home that are different than what every realtor uses, like the MLS. Using Keller Williams International is big. Even though I may not be a part of Keller Williams International, it's still an option that we have. You know, I'm a member of 2MLS, Roanoke Valley Association of Realtors, and Keller Williams International. Everybody all over the planet will see your home. 98% of buyers buy online. They need professional photos. If all the saves and stuff that are on Zillow are because of the good photos that somebody may have of their home. There's a particular shot that they like. Oh, it was a great shot of the kitchen with the granite countertops and the antique gas stove that they put in there that might have cost a fortune. I'm just going to save this on Zillow. So professional photography is big, and that's definitely one of the things I put in there is the guide that, you know, my photographer he does photos for Fortune 500 companies. I pay a premium to get your photos done, and I will continue to use him because that's what you deserve. Oh, wow. Teresa, what do you think about this?
So we're going to have a hard time with this since we were on this. What does anyone, and we can probably go through this a little quicker. I feel like you kind of just said a lot of this.
Okay.
If y'all want to just, you know, is it in the, what is it? What page is it on? Because
I think it was 70.
Let's look through it real quickly and see if anyone has questions on it. I don't want anyone to have questions and feel like we're pushing you through it. The one thing that Jonathan was saying is that, you know, when you go in there to get the listing, it's not all about the papers in your hand. I love that you said that, because everyone has papers in their hand.
Right.
And you know, they're there to meet you and know that you know what you're talking about.
Right.
And if you read it out of a book, they don't get to know you.
Right.
Let's let me look at this and see what page is on 71. I just want to see how easy this will be since we're doing this remotely. And we have different listing agreements.
Right.
I guess we could, when you go to page 74, can you all see page 74?
Hey, I can. Whoops, just kidding.
Well, you've really talked a lot about this, you know, as far as what are the 5 factors affecting the value of your property. You really went through a lot of that already. So you guys tell us, what do you have, you know, ask Jonathan what questions that you have regarding the listing agreement. in the listing presentation.
I know that you said, Jonathan, that you don't, well, when you leave, you're going to have the listing, which I like that. I want to go into every listing appointment with that attitude too. But you said you don't like to carry papers. So how do you go about getting the information that you need for them to sign and to agree to the listing without having the actual contract with you?
That is in my car, for sure. I already have it filled out. I mean, I have the listing agreement information. If it's been on the MLS, I have all that information already. Tax ID, everything about it, I have on there that I put on that listing agreement to go to an expired. I have it in the car. When I asked them, is there any other reason why you wouldn't want to sign with me today? And they say no. I'll say, okay, well, just give me 1 minute. I'm gonna go to the car and get that listing. You know, I don't want to go in there extremely confident with that listing agreement showing. And I don't want to necessarily go in there with a huge portfolio with stuff in it. I normally take a book this big that I can walk around with and cuff in my hand while we take a tour of their house, and I ask questions that are going to be pertinent to why they're leaving, their pain, reason why they're leaving, you know, other reasons of how many times was it shown, did you get any offers? I'm going to write those down in there because I can revisit it, as well as any type of customary items that were done within the house. I can write it down and say, oh my goodness, so you had that woodwork done by who? You know, I haven't heard of them, but because this is so beautiful, I'm absolutely going to check them out. What's the name of that? And I'll write it down because it's also going in my listing as well when I get it. So at the end, when I ask them if they want to list with me or not, then I'll go to the car and I'll get it and I'll come back in and I'll make a joke. I'll be like, whew, do you guys feel like you just went through like a workout at the gym or something? Like I feel great right now, you know, and I'm doing things to make them laugh. You know, it's not going to be so formal and so life altering and ending because I'm here and they're getting ready to sign their life away with somebody that, you know, is going to try to sell their home as their biggest purchase or their biggest listing or sell of their life. So I personally leave it in the car if it's expired. If it's for sale by owner, I will take the larger portfolio portion of it. But I will set it on the counter. I won't open it up. I will keep it closed because when I'm walking around with them, I'm not really taking information down as far as the customs and things that are done with it. I'm more of trying to figure out where their head is, what their reason is. I mean, there is a reason why you were a for sale by owner. I am going to find it. I'm going to find the pain and I am going to make it all better. That's my main goal when I'm walking around looking at the house. Even though I'm oohing and awing everything, I'm still trying to find out, well, gosh, you know, I bet you did want to be there about a month ago with your family, didn't you? I mean, I'm sure this is exhausting that you're taking phone calls just from agents like us, let alone people who want to preview your house, who you don't know whether they're pre-approved or have proof of funds. You know, this is something that I could take that headache away from you. You know, you can go to Buffalo Wild Wings, get a nice 10-piece wing and a beer, and I can handle everything else from there. You know, just depending on who they are as people. Or, gosh, didn't you hate to miss church Wednesday night? You know, because you had to come over here and show a looky-loo your house that just wanted to see the inside of it because they liked your pictures on Zillow. I can help cancel that out and not let anybody in your house unless they have the funds to do it. So
How do I pronounce your name? Is it Tikia or Tykia?
It's Tahia.
Tykia. It's a beautiful name. I wanted
Thank
to
you.
tell you, have you noticed when Jonathan talks, how smooth and gentle it feels, and like you feel like he's your friend? I mean, you know, you just get that feeling from him that it's trustworthy. And I think what happens is agents go to their listing appointment and they're nervous, you know, and they can see you're nervous. And if they see that you're thinking about a commission on the other end, which we all like commissions. So let's not, get past that. But there's something about walking in there. When you walk in and you're going in to sign it up, like you're going to get that listing, not just talk to them. And they can feel it, and they almost don't even know how to tell you no at the end. Like even if they're not planning on it, by the time you're finished, you're their friend. And when you're their friend, they trust you.
Right.
And in no way are you going after them in this greedy, selfish way or really nervous. If you're nervous, they feel nervous.
Right.
It's like nervous energy. Now, did you say this is your first listing appointment?
Yes.
So you deserve to be a little bit nervous. So I'm going to tell you that it's okay, but really take 10 breaths on the way. All right. This is something too I do. I seriously, sometimes when I don't know what to say, I'll be like, God, can you just speak through me on this one? Because I'm really getting ready to have to wing it here. And I swear for some reason, I feel better after I do that. And it's okay to even tell them, look, I'm new at this, but because I'm new, I'm going to work 10 times as hard for you.
Right.
And some people like that, because in defense, I'm pretty busy, so people, as much as I might know more than you, they might get less of me than what you can give them.
Right. That's
And,
a big, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I just wanted to say, because when you talk, you are so, everybody's actually texting behind your back, by the way. So my productivity class is in here, and some of them are here. They're like, oh my gosh, I've got to get back because we tape it. We want to listen to it. So you
That's
have
fine.
this very soothing voice, and that's all you have to do is just slow it down and try not to talk too fast and listen more than you talk. And
Right.
that's important. But I'm going to tell y'all something I do, and Jonathan, you may not do this and it might be crazy. But when I talk to someone, the first thing that I ask them after I get to know them, when I'm really sitting down, is I ask them, I'm like, if you had your absolute best number that you want for your house, and this is when you're raw and you don't know how much that house is going to be listed for, what would be your dream price for this house? Because sometimes it might be a $200,000 house. You're like, crap, do they want 180 or they want 250? It gives you an even playing ground. And sometimes they laugh and they're like, oh, I want $1 million. But when you say that to them, they also feel that you're like, let me see what I can work toward. And often it's not more than what it should be. But at least
I think it's a good idea. I think it's good. Yeah. I think it's
90% of the time they will tell you what their hope is.
right.
So.
Right. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I appreciate the compliments as far as being smooth, but it wasn't like this always. I mean, when I say script and role play by yourself, you absolutely have to do. I'm telling, when I go home, when I leave here, I will do it on the way home because I'm always thinking of something different. I want to be better than anybody else. I want to handle every objection is out there. Can't do that unless I practice. If you go on my Instagram and look at maybe 2 years ago when I did my very first open house, it was a beautiful house at Smith Mountain Lake. It was overpriced. I sounded like an idiot. I was like, I don't know what this is. It looks good and expensive, but I don't know what it is. I mean, that's horrible. Even with doing scripts and role play with, at the time, was my team leader. I said, in a 5-minute time span of scripts and role play with him, I said, 48 times. Well, I mean, when I played it back and listened to it, I was so embarrassed that at that point was like, you sound like a moron. Nobody will ever sit here and let you list their home because you just got an F minus in public speaking. So
the nervous energy.
It was. And he was just my team leader. It wasn't a client. So, I mean, but the more I practiced, the more comfortable I got, because when we did finally do scripts and role play with somebody different, I was on it. And then my confidence just went from, I'm horrible at life, I'm gonna go home and quit and get some other job. It just went through the roof. And then, so when you show up, if you're smiling, you know, if you're just happy to be there, you're happy to meet them, you get to know them, you're winning half the battle. Because other agents who have been in it for a long time, who are strapped for time, they're not going to sit there and hang out with them for 30 or 45 minutes to look at the house. They're typically going to be there to really grind down and see if they're going to get the listing. And if they feel like there's no hope or they got to work a little bit harder, they're going, they're leaving. And to what Teresa was saying, as far as her not having as much time and being a new agent as well, and the comparison, I have used that to my advantage as well. I still use it because I don't have a team. I'm an independent contractor. So when I know they've met with other agents and I can see the stack of cards that are sitting on their table, they're going to use, well, I have a whole market center, or I have a whole team of people who can help do this for you. I got a team of buyer agents. Well, mine is, I'm definitely not like that. I'm going to give you the service that you deserve. You will work with me and only me. You will not be handed off to anybody else. I am the one who is going to handle your transactions. I'm not going to give you to an admin. I'm not going to give you to somebody else. And you will get me on the phone. You can call me at 8 o'clock Sunday night. I will answer the phone. And I will make sure that any title company, lender questions you have, I will find it out at 8 o'clock on Sunday night as well, because those are the kind of vendors that I work with. So I use being alone to my advantage as well, as I don't have a lot of people to hold accountable, just myself. And you won't have to worry about hearing from anybody else but me. So some people really like that. They like the fact that I'm not going to have to call, 14 people just to get to the agent that actually met me in this room. So you could also use that as, but at the same time, there's other people out there like, yeah, this person's doing their thing. They got a whole team of buyer agents, and they're going to get me a lot more exposure because they have 6 buyer agents that are going out there, marketing this property, trying to find a buyer for it. So there's perks on both ends, but that's how I use it as an independent agent.
Tykea, another thing too, when you're in there, and this has helped me, is, I tell them ahead of time, that with our company, we have a closed Facebook. Immediately, I'm going to let this many agents know that, that your house is on the market. And then you are able to target and market, and it's very inexpensive. For $20, you can market this person's house in New York. So you don't have to be, when you explain to him, say, what's the price point of the house you're going to?
He has it listed right now at $179,900.
Okay. So, and it's for sale by owner.
Yes.
So you can explain to him, say, I have the advantage with Keller Williams of marketing your property anywhere in the United States, really worldwide, and some of our other offices, and explain to him that your Facebook marketing is different than somebody else's Facebook marketing, because, Gary Keller has an agreement with Google. And so if someone in New York has been searching your area, those are the ones that your Facebook marketing is going to go to. So it's not like a gunshot where it shoots out all over the place randomly. It's only targeting the people who have searched in the area. So, and tell him too, I'm sure you've noticed this, Jonathan, that a lot of people are moving from certain areas to our area all of a sudden. We have Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, these are the ones that seem to be trying to get into our area. So tell him that you can specifically target those people. And you know what? Maybe another agent somewhere else can do it too, in another way, but he doesn't know that. He only knows what you tell him, what you can do.
Right. Tykea, would this happen to be an address that begins with 3303?
Sorry, my dog is here sleeping and she snores really loud, so I keep putting it back on mute, but yes.
Okay, all right, I see which one it is. Okay. Okay. All right, I just wanted to check real quick. I'll definitely touch base with you on it after this.
Yeah, so, the fact that you're heading out the door, it's nice to get some kind of comforting. So yeah, maybe you can talk to her about
Right.
that one if you're familiar with it.
Right, I've seen it. I haven't called it. You're lucky.
See, he didn't get
just
that
kidding.
one. He had to prepare for this class.
No, I did not.
But we're proud of you. So you made the call and they all say they don't want to pay a realtor. The fact that he's going to meet you, it means that he's paying attention.
Right. Yep. Even if it's a soft touch and you're just going there to meet and you're not necessarily talking about getting the actual listing at this point, you're creating that rapport. Just make sure that you protect yourself, obviously. You always want to be sure. I always have protection, always, if I've never met anybody.
Oh, yeah, same.
Okay, all right.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we can keep you guys safe.
Yeah. Anybody have any other questions or examples?
And Taiki, we're excited to hear about this. So maybe on our next Ignite class next week, we can share some success stories. And I would love it if everyone on here would bring a success story, because I know you can get one. Taiki, you made this phone call while we were doing our little 10-minute break, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
I have a question. I don't know if you've run into this much, Jonathan, because you actually price things with the agreement that you're going to reduce the price by a certain point because you've done your comps well. And I do my comps I take a lot of time on the comps to make sure that I'm on track with everything. So I do have all that research ahead of time. But I have found in a few of my homes, this particular one is a for sale by owner that I knew was going to be difficult because they're older and they have to make a certain amount on it. They've got a lot of medical bills. It has to happen. The problem I'm having is that the house is definitely priced right. I've gotten that from multiple people. I got as much work done on it as I possibly could within a budget. And I even put some of my own money into it because I just believe in it. And yet the offers that came in were solid offers, but it's not enough with the commission. And so have you all been in that situation where you're not going to reduce the price at this point? I don't reduce my commission, but in this situation, I'm beginning to think that I really need to if I get another offer.
I look at it as something is better than nothing. You do know your worth, but you also know what the market's going to pay with what you've been offered.
Right.
I all the way in Covington. I could sell it till I got there. I already had the listing. I got the listing presentation. I got the listing agreement over the phone. And when I got there to actually put the sign in the yard and walked in the house, the foundation in the basement was bowed like this.
Right.
Dirt was coming out of the foundation.
Not good.
So she had to have a certain price to pay off the house. She initially was going to let it go to foreclosure. And I talked her into listening with me because I'm like, look, let me get it sold for you so you don't mess up your credit. It'll take you forever to fix that. I'll get it sold. I seen that. I asked her about it. She never disclosed it to me. And she says, oh, well, yeah, I got a quote that said it was going to cost me 10 grand to fix it. Well, at the time, it was listed for maybe 129. And she could not do it. She owed probably 120 on it. So somebody finally came along, gave me 120, I've reduced my commission all the way to 1% and gave the other agent, of course, 3 because they're not going to bring anybody unless they have it. So
Right.
I made $350 driving an hour away to this house for photos, for inspections, for all of that. But she ended up being the aunt of a very famous football player that I love, went to the college football program that I love. And I got an autographed jersey. I got tickets to a football game. So it all worked out in the long run, but they will always send me somebody. And she even said, I will do my best to have Duke Johnson's buy his next house with you, or at least let you have the referral, because it's going to be multi-millions of dollars. So I feel like it all works out in the long run anyway. If we take care of everybody, it's going to come back. And it's better than me not.
I agree.
You know, I mean, and that $350 was after, I did the photos and my other expenses. So I made a little more than that, but the 350 is what I was putting into my pocket after expenses, after taxes. And if I didn't sell it, I would have lost money. So for me, that's how I try to look at it and make it a positive situation. They're happy. They were extremely happy at the closing table. I got photos, I got everything, and I could have a future multi-million-dollar buy in my future. So it's
right.
And I've done others for 2.
And that's exactly where I am. I'm so glad that you're confirming that, because I feel exactly the same. When I went into this, I said, sometimes you just do what's right, and you do it for the people. You don't do it for what we do. And I've done that a few times, and this is one of those times where I really feel like this is just the right thing to do for people you care about.
Right.
And I had never met them before, but I just adore them now. And so I'm going to be at that point of the 1%, because I agree. I don't even want to ship people's homes where they list and they give 2% or 2.5% to the buyer agent. I'm going to give the 3% to the buyer agent.
Right.
And
it'll stop people from showing the house. It will.
Absolutely.
I know agents who will not, even if it is a 0.5%, they will do whatever they can to steer their client and say it's just not worth it for you.
Yep, I've seen the same thing.
I don't work for 2.5%. So yeah, if I want to sell the house and my clients want to be happy, that's what I have to do, then great. You know what? Still goes on my resume as I sold it. I still made something. The firm still made something. It's better than it expiring and not making anything.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much, Jonathan.
Oh, no, absolutely. Yeah. Always something better than nothing.
You got that right.
Yep. Does anybody else have anything? I love this. I can talk about real estate all day long. So my wife tells me shut up constantly. And she's actually going to become an agent here soon. So
That's
We
really
hope
cool.
to see you at all of our other Ignites.
I'm sorry.
We hope to see you at all of our future meetings.
Yeah, I know. I've been really bad about that.
Hey, I'm not here to knock you down.
I know.
I'm just saying we'd love to see you.
I should be better. I just, between, me making excuses for whatever reasons that I have, I even decided to not be on the ALC anymore here in the RVAR, just because I'm afraid that I wouldn't make all of the requirements that I needed, need family reunion, mega camp, things like that. I just want to play it safe. I can help people without being on the ALC. So it's just easier for me to not have to worry about meeting those requirements and mentally wear myself out. So I am going to try to make the Ignites better. I saw Steven before this one and enjoyed it for the time that I had, the 30 minutes I had before this. And I'll definitely try to make more, but it is tough. I like to be out there going to listing presentations and showing my buyers at the same time. So I'm not as good as time blocking as I should be.
Jonathan, I'll just share with you, this is my third round in Ignite, and I do it because I get something different out of it every time. And
Right.
I mean, you did an amazing job. I mean, like Teresa was telling you, we had our group chat in there. And I was like, oh my gosh, it sounds like he's taught this like before. Like
Well,
you did an amazing job.
I appreciate it because I don't know if I'm red because it's hot in here or because I was just nervous the whole time, but I look pretty red on the screen right now. But good, I'm glad, because coming back from that one listing today, I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't done anything. I haven't prepared. We're just gonna wing it. So I just think it's better that we all talk about what we need help with. I know I'm more tactile. I pay more attention when I'm involved in something than to read a slide. That's just me. So just like the scripts and role plays me and Krista did during Bold, you know, it was a lot of fun. We had a hard time meeting up sometimes because we were busy, but you know, I'm glad James Farron came in for that one and made everybody do it. So I got a good friend from it too.
You did terrific. I always find it really helpful to hear people talk about real client interactions and the choices they make in terms of how they speak and interact. And so I found it incredibly helpful. Thank you, Jonathan.
Oh, hey, great. Yeah, no, anytime. And if anybody ever wants to call and scripts and role play with me, I am down because I love it. It's just because if you can stump me, I'm happy. I want to learn what I can do better. You know, that's my wife has me to the point all the time where I say, well, you just don't want to sell your house. You know, why'd you even answer the phone? You didn't even want to sell the house. I mean, that's to the point where she's gotten to where she can't even think of any more objections. So I just love doing it. I enjoy it. And, you know, she'll walk away from it because she gets agitated and she can't stand that I talk about real estate so much. I love my job. I love my clients, and I'm in it for the long haul. So
This
anybody
business
I can help.
It's in your blood. It does.
Yeah. Well, let's all be successful. The more successful we all are, the better we are with Keller Williams. You know, the better KW looks to everybody. You know, MKB and Remax out here, you know, you just want to finally get over that plateau and knock them off their high horses because, you know, they've been here for 30 years. You know, for us to be in the top 5 and top 3, you know, annually, I want us to be able to finally break that plateau and knock them down. And the only way we can do that is if all of us can be better.
I want the same thing.
Yeah.
We've
hear
got
you
the
too.
models, we've got the systems, we've got the training. I mean, there's no reason that somebody with this brokerage cannot be successful. No reason.
Right. Absolutely. Yep. So, I mean, anytime I'm down, whether it's off of Facebook, you want an instant message, or my phone. I guess there's a group chat. I can put my number on there. But bear with me. I'm trying. I thought, there it is. Okay. So if anybody, if for some reason I have forgotten to send out this for sale by owner information, by later this evening, I am gonna send it to Takia real quick. But give me a little bit for later this evening to be able to send that information to everybody else, because my wife's been calling me and her papa's not been doing so good. So I have to go do that after this, and just give me a little bit of time. I got to pick the turd up from daycare. So, but I'll definitely get that information to everybody on the for sale by owners. Just I hope that the chat stays up here after we turn it off, and then I'll get everybody's email address and send that information. Does anybody else have anything, or is Teresa, do you have any input or anything you want to put in?
I can hear her.
Sorry, guys. I got called away with a little situation, but I'm back.
Oh, no problem. I was just saying if there was anything that you wanted to add, or.
I think this has been a phenomenal class. I'm just loving it. Now I have to go back and listen to the last 5 minutes I just missed.
Well, y'all are definitely working me up too much. You're gonna give me a big head.
No, it's been wonderful. We appreciate. Yeah, are you doing any more for us?
I guess if they ask me to, I'll do some.
The masses say yes.
So the last one, which is our little graduation. So since you're Roanoke and I'm Lynchburg, you can come in and we'll do it together.
Okay.
We'll put you on there. Shall I, you on here? We'll put you on there, and that way we can have our little celebration of getting out of our class. And so I do have one quick question. Who on here has not signed up for family reunion? So you have to call your the MCA directly for some strange reason to get the discount on the ticket. We found that out by Krista. But anyone who has not signed up, please reach out to your MCA or your team leader or myself and get signed up for it, because people often, I just want to say this, you look at it and you're like, oh my God, it's 4 days. I can't take off work for 4 days. You don't take off work for 4 days. You go in and there's so many amazing classes, and you choose the classes that pertain to you, and they're taped. So eventually everyone gets home from work and you can listen to it. You can listen to it on the road, but I highly encourage you guys to sign up for it. It's normally like somewhere between $600 and $800 to sign up, and you got to fly out there and you have to get a hotel. So it's about a $3,000 commitment, and it's $80. So there's my soapbox.
Yeah.
You guys on it.
You have got to sign up. This is amazing. Family reunion is one of those things that I have only had the opportunity to go once because of the expense. With it being like this and working around your schedule, I cannot tell you enough about what you'll get out of it. It's incredible.
I like it better because the classes are so full and so popular that the last time I was there, they had the fire department was there, like the fire marshal was escorting us out of the classes because there were too many people in them. But this way, you don't lose your spot. You get in there, and I want to have a group together with Roanoke and Lynchburg where we talk about what we've learned in family reunion. If everyone can just take that one thing and let's bring it to a group discussion, I think that would be fun.
Sure.
Love it.
I have an idea. I want to see what everyone thinks. I know we have a closed Facebook group for just KW agents, like overall, but what if we made a Facebook group for Ignite?
That would be a great idea.
And then we can all post resources and stuff like that, so we can all see it. It's better than a group text. You're not bombarded with a bunch of text all the time.
No, I think it would be great. Would y'all like to have that? Because, it could even be Ignite/family reunion, because I'd like to put all of our offices together because, together we have more. And there are things that we've learned from Jonathan today. I learned things from Jonathan today. I want to go back and listen to what he said, because some of his listing ideas were phenomenal.
Well, thank you. And I like to hear other people's stories too. I mean, I don't know everything. I've only picked pieces up from everything I've read, people I've seen, even agents in our office as well. Matthew Hogan is a master of his craft as well. And he was the team leader that I was underneath my very first couple of months that I was in. And I went with him on his appointments. And he just, he used me as, hey, this is my buyer agent. He's going to help throw things out there. But I got to see a lot of how he did it. Of course, my way is a little different because I don't want to go to the same listing as him and we sound identical. So, but he's also a master of his craft. If anybody ever wants to pick his brain as well, he's really good at it. I guess he's the one that I said to so many times. And he just sat back and laughed and laughed. And it's like, that was awful. You're going to continue to be my buyer's agent until you get to, get the listing and, under control. So yeah, anybody who has anything different, I just take bits and pieces of it to make mine better.
And you heard what he said about the scripts. I know people are like, oh my God, we are so tired of hearing about these scripts of Keller Williams. Those scripts, the reason Jonathan sounds so smooth when he talks is because he's memorized, and those scripts have become who he is. And so he has his own personality mixed in with the scripts. And so what he says comes off second nature. You want it to be second nature. You don't want to sound like you're reading a book.
Right.
So, and I've never done my scripts in the car. I like that.
Oh, everywhere. I mean, I can't, if me and Teresa were going to a listing, I want it, even though I have nothing against Teresa, but it's just my drive and who I am. I want that listing. And if I didn't get it, I absolutely dwell on it and analyze it to figure out why I possibly didn't get it. So
I didn't get one last year, and I was like, what? I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean you talked to somebody else? I was literally like, what? Like, I was so shocked. I'm like, what is wrong with these people? That's what I'm thinking. So don't ever think what's wrong with you. Think what's wrong with them. Like, what is the problem?
But yeah, I mean, I feel like there should have been something that I could have done or said that, we mold into almost, we are who we are, but we mold into something that has them trust us. So I try to figure out what it can be, other than, of course, I haven't been in it for 30 years. I'm still bitter over that. I've lost 4 to this one particular agent because of that reason. And there's just no other way that I can handle it at that point other than, okay, well, when she doesn't sell it, give me a call. I mean, it's the only way that I can look at it, because I can't really combat 30 years of experience because I just don't have it. All I can do is build value at that time for who I am, what I've done, and that you trust me and you like me.
And you also just need to just brush it away and move on,
Right.
like move on. Again, we were saying thank you notes. I don't know if it was last week or the week before. When you leave that listing agreement, even though they don't hire you, send them a thank you note. Because even though your little feelings are hurt, we all
Right.
get it. We're like, well, what was wrong with me? Like she
Right.
don't like me. But, send them that thank you note, because if anything happens, anything at all happens with that situation, then then they're going to remember you're the one that sent the thank you note.
Yep, absolutely. I think we touched on that a little bit today too. Yep, yeah. Anything that sets you apart. Absolutely. Well, I've had fun.
I know we have had a great time, and we appreciate you. Thank you for doing this. So are you going to join me on the last one?
Sure.
All
Just
right.
tell me a date and a time.
Jonathan, I'll get with you about it.
Oh, she already
Okay.
has it. It'll be nice to have like all of us on there, but we really hope you guys continue on with this and keep coming in, because there's something new every time. And then we're going to break for family reunion. So you don't have an excuse to say, I don't have time for that. We're going to break, and then we're going to come back again. And then we're going to see what happens with us in 2021. But Jonathan, thank you.
Oh, thank you guys. I'm glad that everybody was able to join today and I could help somebody. It's great. Let's all make money. Let's all make it a better year than last year.
But watch out if you're going against Jonathan on a listing.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I am. I'm extremely competitive. I'm sorry.
Never apologize for that.
But yeah, it would be fun. All I would do is work up any other agent anyway. So, hey, you can't go wrong if you go with them. My efforts are just different. That's all.
You did great today, Jonathan.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate it. I was worried. I'm still red. I'm guessing it's the computer. I don't know.
You're just shy and you're blushing.
Very good possibility. Yeah.
I don't know if Michelle's on here yet, but Michelle was last week, and she's like, oh my goodness. It's fun, but then you're like, it's more than navigating the material than it is anything else.
Right. That's what I was concerned with is they sent it over to me. I was like 96 pages. I was like, how am I going to do this? You tell me 2 days in advance. Like, I don't know.
You're like,
What am I
crap, I said yes. I didn't know what I was saying yes to.
Yeah, I just thought it was like, hey, talk to people about how to close a deal and listing presentations. I was like, sold. Yeah, I'll do it.
And that's,
then-
Hey,
you
hey,
know,
Teresa, I'm on here. Hey, Jonathan, watch out. Teresa, she'll put you in. Then you're like, where's my material?
oh yeah, that's right. Well, here's the thing. You said it all. I was digging through and you were saying it before you got the material. It's just because you already know how to do it. So
Well, good. Good. I was worried I was going to get too far ahead or too far back or just not on cue. So I just like the big group discussion. I think it's everybody getting involved is a good way. That's just me.
I do too. And since we're in during COVID and stuff, I'd like to do it, do more of it with the Roanoke office. We're so close together. I mean, you know,
Right.
we go from Roanoke to the lake to Lynchburg to, you know, the surrounding areas. And now we're getting a Danville office. So
Oh,
you'll have people to refer to over there too.
okay.
And we're
didn't know
trying to
that.
get dual licensed in North Carolina. So
Nice.
Yes, sweet.
yeah, Carol's excited. She gets to go get another broker's license in North Carolina.
Okay. That's exciting right there.
I love it.
It is. We're excited about it. Well, we
That would be
appreciate
great,
you.
actually. Yeah.
Yeah, we're excited. So we'll try to keep you in the know with that because it's, you know, well, the thing is, people that don't know as much about Danville, but the lakes are half of them are in North Carolina and half of them are in, you know, in Virginia. So everything, the way it's set up, it's very hard to be
Right.
right there and not handle both. of
Right.
them. So just gives us more people to refer to.
Absolutely.
That's right.
I love referrals. Love that passive income.
That's right. Exactly. That was actually what I had to take, by the way, whenever that came in, it was like urgent referral.
Hey, I understand. I just sent one to Beth Pretty in Richmond yesterday. So she came highly regarded in Richmond.
Hey, and here's the good news. Whenever they're in a higher market, you know, you can send a referral and make as much off the referral as you would with the home prices in our market center, just from
Absolutely.
working
Right.
with referrals, because the price point's so much higher.
Oh, absolutely. And I loved it. My client was looking for a 3 to 4 bedroom and a guest house.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, she's going to have a lot of money. I said, it's okay. They're rich. I said, I just wanted to, I'm not driving over there. So
That's
have fun.
awesome.
Take this referral. Thank you.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Well, thank you for that. Anyone else have anything? Any questions? They're all quiet now. All right. I
Thank you
guess I'll
all.
see y'all
That
next
was
week.
great.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. And
Nice
my
to see you in
numbers,
5 seconds, Michelle.
my
Look,
numbers in the
you
chat
already
box.
out.
If you have
Hey.
any questions, reach out.
All right, we will.
Okay.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Everyone.